For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lucy Bento, and I work at Steinberg Europazentrum, and we are a partner in DaWetRest. And today's topic is governance and policy enabling wetland restoration. And so I warmly welcome all DaWetRest partners that joined the meeting, associated partners and also associated regions, and of course all external people who joined the meeting. And a welcome to all our speakers for the session. It's great that you're here today, and I'm sure it will be very interesting to hear your presentation. And so I will now share with you the agenda for today. Can you all see my screen? Okay. So this is our session number 6. And we will start with 2 expert sessions. As I said, our topic today is governance and policy enabling wetland restoration. And we will first hear from Mihai Cristian Adamescu from University of Bucharest, who is also the Restore4Life coordinator, about wetland restoration and governance structures. And after that, we will hear from Marius Goro from Ridge Nature Park, who will also give a talk about wetland restoration governance. And then we will have a quick co-creation session on our shared mural board, for which I already put the link in the chat, to assess the supporting and limiting factors for our demo sites in the DaWetRest. And then we will have a second part with expert speakers about the demo sites and wetland restoration governance. And here we will hear from Arden Ardenov from University of Buse about the lower Danube demo in Bulgaria. And then we will hear from Julia Nicholson from Danube Delta National Institute for Research and Development, who will talk about the Danube Delta demo in Romania. So I'm really looking forward to these talks. And I will now have a quick recap about the community of practice. So our community of practice in DaWetRest serves as a base and a continuous platform for facilitating wetland restoration in the Danube River Basin. And we are here to generate ideas for future wetland restoration initiatives, to promote also cooperation among stakeholders and co-create for solutions and build capacity. And therefore, we have expert sessions, co-creation parts, and opportunities and consultation. And this is also open to the public, so everyone can register. And this is a bi-monthly session every second Friday of the month. The next session takes place on Friday, the 12th of December 2025. We have a co-creation board, which is on mural, and we exchange information and resources via the DaWetRest website. So there we can, you can watch all the recordings of the past sessions. We already had 5 sessions with different topics, and also access the fact sheets that we have for these sessions. And there you can also sign up for the community of practice, and everyone who registers there will receive our information and invitations to the meetings via mail. So now, without further explanation, I think I will hand over to Mihai for the first talk. Do you want to share the screen yourself for your presentation? Okay, perfect.
I hope you see my screen and my mic is not muted. Okay, then it's good. I will put it in a moment in full screen. So I will not see you, so it's good to close your cameras and go for your coffees. I don't know. And I hope you will enjoy also my jokes. I have several. So when approached by Lucy about this talk, I was saying, oh, okay, yes, I will give a talk about Restore4Life. And then she changed the subject. No, you have to do a talk about governance and stuff. And I said, okay, I will do that also. So, but I will start of course with something about Restore4Life, which is, let's say, a sister project of DaWetRest. So it's about restoring wetlands for a sustainable future. We pick up a nice name, Restore4Life, because actually we are restoring wetlands to support life. And this is our motto and our logo. We are, like you, a big consortium of 31 partners from many countries. Many are located in the Danube Basin, but we have also others that are outside, like, for example, SIG from Doniana, and another places like from Ireland and Greece. We are, of course, part of this EU mission to restore our ocean and waters. Of course, we are part of the Protect and Restore Ecosystems with the Danube Black Sea area. There are others working for many other places in Europe. We are hoping, of course, together with you and other sister projects, to bring a light into what the European Union has to do and all the countries have to do in the next years, implementing the national restoration plans and other restoration, let's say, initiatives. We are aiming, of course, for restoration of wetland complexes as life-supporting systems in the Danube Basin. And we have, for this, we have 4 implementation sites in which we are doing this kind of activities for restoration to learn from. We have monitoring sites, 6 of them distributed in the Danube Basin. Like I said, 31 partners we are spreading in 48 months. And now we have added already 5 new associated regions from Belgium, Armenia, Portugal, Sweden, and Ukraine. So we have a lot to learn, and we are doing the best we can learn through extensive dialogue and to help this co-creation with multiple actors. We have several project goals, of course, like each of these proposals and projects. We are aiming to develop this wetland restoration wiki, which is in fact everything that we can gather in terms of data and also tools able to help many and future people an organization who will for sure develop this kind of restoration activities in the Danube Basin. Sharing the data is something that it's very important, but also we need not only this, we need also a common understanding of the aims of restoration. We need this transdisciplinary approach in which stakeholders are going to be involved. We need to engage with local communities, with citizen science, and also we need to bring this conceptual approach this holistic conceptual approach into place. I have to say that many are thinking we are restoring wetlands for the sake of the nature. Actually, we are not. We are restoring wetlands because we need wetlands and we need this kind of ecosystems, natural ecosystems, to support our lives and well-being. And I think this is the base for the restoration approach. So we are not doing that for the sake of the nature. We are doing that mainly for our own concern. And we have to be aware that there are different bubbles in which should be addressed. And that's why we need to talk with many. So that's why we need to empower the community, to support local businesses and revenues, and of course, to support this implementation of holistic wetland restoration solutions. Now, back to our talk, to my talk. So we have these wetland restoration governance structures. And I have to say that it's a very interesting topic, and it's a very challenging one. because it has multiple facets. So first of all, what is a successful restoration? And we have a deliverable in Restore4Life that addresses exactly this. If you go on Zenodo or search for Restore4Life, you will find it. Much more data and information is to be found there. So actually, when looking at this successful restoration, we look at different perspectives. And of course, the first one, like I said, it's ecological and functional perspectives. We want to do this because there is this need for improved water quality, enhanced flood control, increased biodiversity, and many other things. This increase in the ecological services is a key indicators for success of restoration. But this is one single aspect. We have also a climate adaptation perspective. So to see if a wetland is just it's a successful restoration, we have to look at the degree to which restoration projects enhance the resilience of socio-ecological systems to climate-related stressors. And this is also how well the wetland will stay in the future climate. So this is something that we need to approach when dealing with the success of restoration. Then we have another aspect that it's actually connected with societal and community engagement perspective. You need to engage from the beginning the community, the locals, the local people in addressing this kind of things, because without them, actually, you cannot do any kind of restoration. So this is another facet of this another aspect of this restoration success. Then we have the governance and policy perspective. In order to be a successful restoration project, you need to have these supportive governance structures, these enabling factors that will support restoration and will allow the restoration to thrive in the future. So you are not restoring something and then leave it for the nature you have to take care of that restoration. You have to show the benefits of restoration. Otherwise, people will lose interest in the restoration. So restoration for itself, it doesn't work. Then we have to think and to have this adaptive management and monitoring perspective. So like I said, you have to look in the future to see what are the things that needs to be changed and also to adapt to different perspectives, different type of things that are happening in reality. And also you have to be able to define a monitoring program to show the benefits of restoration and also to show how this wetland restoration is improving the livelihood of the people living near the restored area, which is not easy to do. Then we need also another perspective, which is the communication and outreach perspective. You need to communicate all of this to different stakeholders. And engage with different policy levels and so on. And of course, I put it at the last, but it's actually one of the important aspects is the financial and business support perspective. Success of restoration is actually based on this approach. It's based on the fact that you need to attract businesses and to make restoration as successful, to have a successful business perspective in that sense. So otherwise, you will not be able to, we will start restoration, but we need to, it's like a snowball. You need to increase the investments in and see the perspective of a good restoration and good wetland restoration things. After all of this, to see what is why we need restoration and what it is a successful restoration, we need to understand why governance matters in this. Because in the end, institutions, we need institutions. We need to understand behaviors, and also all of this makes a successful restoration durable. So we need to understand that actually wetland restoration is not only an ecological or technical process, it is, and for sure we all recognize this, it is a societal and institutional challenge for all of us. Yeah? So governments determines how effectively restoration goals can be achieved and sustained over time. And it doesn't matter if the EU sets very ambitious goals and aims. if we are not finding solutions to how to implement this in the field. So for that, we need this community of practice that you are mentioning before. We need to bring in local communities, authorities, NGOs, business, science, everybody to talk and discuss different approaches. We need to see restoration as an investment, and of course, this is an investment in our future. And many problems from aspects like we should stick to conservation and we should not go to restoration because it's not important. If we are not being able to conserve what we have, why we are thinking to do this restoration. This is one aspect of the problems that we are facing. So actually, we need restoration and we need to act into that direction. Then we have the need to have these predictable rules and way of doing things, and we need clear mandates. So who is going to do what is going to do? Then we need this to accelerate restoration outcomes, to see how we can accelerate the process of restoration. If you look at the deliverable that we presented, you will see that this part with permitting and access to land and conflict resolution, it's actually taking between 3 to 4 years. And then we are discussing about small areas restored, and the impact is very limited. So I think that we are losing an opportunity because we have a lot of permitting and a lot of things to consider. But this is the way in this moment. If we want to accelerate, we need to think big. Then we need to integrate science and different values. And this is something that we need to showcase how knowledge aspects, how to better integrate this, how to use science to showcase and make use of science and knowledge in the decision-making process. And of course, we have to understand that there are plural values and trade-off, for example, trade-off between different ecosystem services and so on. So many things to consider. There is this theoretical route to governance, and you see here it should be the other way around. So actually, we started from this centralized top-down approach. Then we move towards multi-level governance, network governance, adaptive governance. And then we have this polycentric governance in which we have actually multiple semi-autonomous decision centers working together to enhance resilience. I think this is actually what makes resilience, what makes reconstruction and restoring wetlands a very complex process, because actually you are discussing about polycentric governance, everybody has a say, which actually makes things harder, but in the same time, the resilience of the system and the decision that we are taking, it's increasing. So this is something that we need to have in mind when discussing about this. And here you see the evolution of governance thinking. Of course, this is allowing for the polycentric governance is allowing many to have a voice in this. So we have to hear, we have to discuss, we have to share approaches, and this is actually it's encouraging our innovation and our resilience, and it's also bringing into let's say spotlight the fact that all of our solutions are locally adapted solutions. There are several principles relevant to restoration. I will not read them. You will find them in the presentation, but many of them are important for wetlands because actually you have subsidiarity, for example. It's empower regional and local actors who understand site realities. If you do not understand the site realities, you cannot reach the aims that the EU has showed us. So we need to reach that, but actually you don't understand the reality in the field. So I think the projects like DaWetRest and Restore4Life, it's actually bringing into reality this site views. And there are many other things like the power to do this adaptiveness and so on. So what are the things that we need to discuss? The coordination across sectors and levels. This is actually the development of the coordination of community of practice. And we have to understand the difficulties in which the wetlands. So everybody is discussing about wetland reconstruction, forest reconstruction, and whatever. Actually, we need to understand that wetlands is part of the landscape. When we are restoring a wetland, we are actually addressing multiple issues coming from different other type of ecosystems, and we are actually restoring and we will aim to restore landscapes. And we need to see this as a landscape restoration, not as a wetland restoration. What we have for this, we have the need to have this policy coherence. And in other projects, like for example, in BioAgora, we work to understand what is the policy coherence between different policies, between CAP, so Common Agricultural Policy, and restoration activities. And you will see that there is if you follow the money, you will see where is the interest. And in CAP, you see a lot of money, and in the restoration, you will not see so much money. But we need to make use of the money that we have in order to do the restoration that we need. Yeah. And that is something that we need to do by making use of this trade-off between ecosystem services. So multiple level coordinations need to align different EU directive, also look into national strategies, and also look at the local actions. And we need for that a vision. And that vision is something that it's on our shoulders in this kind of project that we are involved in. Then we need to have this long-term commitment and policy continuity. And this is something that we need to think. Restoration benefits usually is not something that you will see in 2 years. For some ecosystem services you can, for example, the flood detention, you can see it immediately, but real restoration with the processes and functional ecosystems, it's after years and years of function. And this is a mismatch between this and the political cycles. Everybody wants to see restoration benefits in 2 years or in 3 years or whatever. So this is a mismatch that we need to address as well. Then we need to secure this kind of governance, secure governance, so we have this continuity. And for that, we need to have not the boss of something who is part of something, but the institutions, and also the institutions that takes responsibility for their aims. Then we have to bring this into laws, planning instruments, and funding streams, because otherwise you cannot move and you cannot have this embedded for a long time. So continuity is actually driven by this. Then you have to involve stakeholders. Stakeholders is something that is needed for sure, and it's actually the thing that is actually accelerates restoration outcomes. We have to be very careful, because restoration actually it's affecting landowners, communities, and economic interest. People are seeing many times the fact that when you do restoration, you are taking my land, you are doing something that is affecting my agricultural land or my communities, or you bring mosquitoes, or you are doing this kind of thing. So this is something that we need to take into consideration. And we need to have these governance structures that will enable participation, transparency, and make this a shared decision-making process that will actually increase local acceptance. And of course, we can use this kind of co-creation and living labs where we actually learn how to do these kind of things, because we are talking a lot, like I'm doing, but actually there are very few practitioners, and we need to learn from them and see how this kind of reality, the restoration can be brought into reality, let's say. Then, of course, you need the knowledge integration, and we need to learn, like I said. And for that, you need this kind of governance system that it's encouraging monitoring, evaluation, and learning, and we adapt to this. Of course, because also the conditions are changing, and you need to be able to integrate scientific data, to think at the traditional knowledge that exists in that area, and also to bring in citizen input. You need this because otherwise people will fight you, people will be against restoration, and because you want to have resilient outcomes. And of course, this kind of adaptive governance and polycentric governance is actually bringing in innovation and flexibility, especially when dealing with this under climate uncertainty, and you don't know if your wetland will be still flooded in 10 or 20 years. Of course, you need to mobilize resources and bring in different initiatives. And for that, you need to attract funding. So an effective governance that will support restoration needs to attract funding, need to be able to bring in partnership and investments from both public and private sectors. Yeah, and there are different initiatives for that, like, for example, payment for ecosystem services or carbon credits that actually can align different economic interests with the ecological goals. And of course, you need to be very transparent about this process, and that will increase actually how the money are used and where they are used and how on. And of course, on this process, you need to ensure equity and fairness. And I took this from web, this picture. I found it very much used only the two, equality and equity, and not about justice. And I think what we need to do is actually to address the barrier, and we need to find out what are the barriers for this. Of course, what are the governance structures? We are talking about the systems of rules, the institutions, the actors, and the processes. And of course, all of these are linked together. The governance is actually defining who has authority, how decisions are coordinated, and which mechanisms are used in order to ensure accountability and participation. And there are several dimensions. I will run through this because I think I overpassed the time. Let me know. We have policies and institutions, like I said. So one is the systems of rules and institutions. So we have policies and institutions, and you know very well that we have this biodiversity strategy, natural restoration regulation, water framework directive, common agricultural policy, and so on. All of them are also overlapping and sometimes with the national and also local and regional authorities and different protective area, for example, administration and basin authorities and so on. But these are the supporting factors for this are clear legal mandates, a problem with the policy coherence, and of course short-term and long-term funding. These are, let's say, the supporting factors. Policy coherence, like I said, we analyze this, and in the realm of ideas, it is very nice when it is the policy incoherence appears at the local level, when you have different policies that are conflicting. And limiting factors are fragmented responsibilities, inconsistent implementation, and of course, short-term project cycles and policy cycles. In the stakeholders, you have a lot of authorities, NGOs, communities and landowners, and different businesses. And of course, you have as supporting factors collaboration, trust, and inclusion in the co-creation if you have the right governance. Among the limiting factors are different conflict of interest between this, for example, between landowners and different authorities, for example, in setting some objectives, lack of support, and of course, sometimes poor communication and poor involvement. You have a lot of instruments, like I said, from laws, standards, and so on. You have a lot of instruments that are economic instruments, different subsidies. Sometimes they are fighting these subsidies. And this has a big impact on wetlands, for example, in the Danube Delta. There are also informational instruments. Like I said, we are preparing a lot of things that are supporting, from that point of view, restoration in the Danube Basin. And of course, you have other instruments that are leading to increased participation. Then we have this multi-level governance pyramid that I showed you with the EU, national, and regional, local. Usually you have this top-down approach in which you have EU directive and funding framework Then you have mid-level with national authorities, and also you have a bottom-up approach with local actors that are actually fighting to implement, innovate, and provide feedback through different participatory approaches. There is a typology of governance structures. Like I said, state lead with command and control, but also you have this hybrid coalition and mission-oriented programs, and usually this is something that we are actually trying to build, this advisory and brokerage, in which we are building this science service, like science service for restoration, like what we are trying also to do. And we are using living labs and stakeholder platforms, so in order to enhance the restoration things. I will just go through these. These are the supporting factors: clear mandates, stable financial initiative, data, and also, yeah, I know, and also stakeholder inclusion and other things like, for example, legal. Then as limiting, you have policy incoherence, fragmented responsibility, and social resistance and trust deficits, like I said. There are also institutional and policy barriers, but in the same time, we have mechanisms for better governance, like, for example, this creation of living labs in which we can actually do this kind of experimentation. For the decision support system, we have a lot of ideas. We are developing this also in Restore4Life, and for sure it will be good to join our forces to find better way to have the process. Also, we are working for the financial instruments. I think this is very important, and bringing in public-private partnership is something that we need to also to do. In the part of the monitoring, learning, and accountability, I think this is also something that we need to do, and to have this approach from planning to learning and then to adjusting what we are doing, and we are going to do that. That's why we have different types of systems. We can also do this kind of recommendation for implementation of national restoration plans. And I think some of them are already in place in some countries, others are lacking behind. And of course, we can also work for projects, understanding how they should work and how they should bring forward the restoration. The take-home message is the restoration wetlands is as much a governance challenge as it is an ecological one. And governance in wetland restoration has evolved from command and control to collaborative learning systems, what we are actually doing here with COOP. And of course, modern restoration depends on many things, including multi-level, polycentric governance, among many other things needed to do. So please also join this newsletter. I think we have a lot to share. And thank you. Sorry, it took too much, I think.
No problem. Thank you very much for the very interesting presentation. I think it was a really good introduction to governance, and also to understand that wetland restoration is an ecological and a governance challenge. And I would say that we continue with Marvin with this presentation, and then we have a quick space for questions for those two presentations, and we just skip the first co-creation session. So to you, Marvin, do you want to share your presentation?
Do
you want to share your presentation,
okay.
Or should I share it?
I can share it.
Okay, perfect.
Do
The
you
floor
see
is yours.
Do you see the presentation?
I see your emails at the moment.
Okay.
Now I can see it, yeah.
Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Marius Koro. I work as an expert associate biologist in Nature Park Kopački Rit, and I will give you a quick overview of how we manage our protected area. So, little history background. The first protection of this area happened in 1967. Then in 1976, the broader area was proclaimed as nature park, and this core area within these yellow lines, which is the most valuable area, was proclaimed special zoological reserve. In 1997, the public institution Nature Park Kopački Rit was established. It is a public body that manages nature protection, do the surveillance, do the promotion and education, and sustainable use in the Kopački Rit. Additional conservation statuses of the area in 1986, the area was listed on the important birds area list. Then in 1993, it was designated as Ramsar site under the Ramsar Convention. And additionally, 2 years ago, Kopački Rit is part of the Danube Wild Island Regional Ramsar Initiative. It is the first river-focused regional initiative in Europe that aims to do the nature conservation on international and multi-sectoral levels to ensure the protection of natural rivers and islands. In 2012, Kopački Rit became part of the became the part of the Biosphere Reserve under the UNESCO's program Man and Biosphere. And in 2021, this biosphere was expanded as the first 5-country biosphere reserve, Mura-Drava-Dunav. And there are 2 Natura 2000 sites on this area. One is the Kopački Rit, and the other Natura site is area north of the Kopački Rit that is also under management of the public institution. On the national level, as I said, we are the nature park where are allowed some economy activities, and the other more strict category is special zoological reserve where no human activity is allowed. And also Kopački Rit is part of the Danube Park's network of protected areas on Danube. It is an international organization with headquarters in Austria, and it gathers different authorities along the Danube Dinner. Among them are, of course, the protected areas and also the association's secretariat is placed in the Kopački Rit. Something about the features of the area. So Kopački Rit is situated in the confluence of Drava and Danube River, and it encompasses the floodplain of these 2 rivers. The entire area is dependent on the dynamics of the flooding of these 2 rivers, and the main feature is this mosaic arrangements of land and water surfaces that change their size, shape, and functions depending on how much water is entering the area. Also, the terrain structure is very complex with lots of depressions and ridges that are interfering. Also, there are a lot of small channels inside the floodplain, which gives the area this specific inner delta appearance. This very rich micro-relief supports high biodiversity of the area. By now, more than 2,700 species are recorded. And something that is worth mentioning are the large populations of endangered bird species, especially waterfalls. These are just some numbers of the species. As I said, birds are most important, more than 292 species. Around half of the species are also nesting in this area. So it is a very important resting stop on the migratory routes. Regarding the legal protection of the area, of course, everything starts with EU legislative. It transfers to the national level with the documents such as the Strategy and Action Plan for the Protection of Biological and Landscape Diversity, Nature Protection Act, and these national acts and laws transfers to our public institutions' internal documents. Most important ones being the spatial plan of the nature park, regulation on internal order, which is ensuring the professional and effective management of the area. Management plan, which is the probably most important document. It is the 10-year document made with a participatory approach. So during the making of the document, workshops were organized where all the stakeholders and interested public could participate to give their input to ensure the best possible management of the area. And of course, the public institutions' annual program for the protection, maintenance, preservation, promotion, and use of the Nature Park Kopački Rit. This is just a little scheme that shows the internal organization structure of the public institution. So the main activity of the public institution is, of course, nature conservation and preservation of functions of the protected area, which is ensured through monitoring, whether it's a monitoring of biodiversity, habitats of natural processes, and based off this data, these inputs, the conservation and preservation measures are implemented, like protection of species from prohibited activities, protection of from the illegal activities, direct surveillance of the space users, and wildfire protection. Sorry. Other important activities are education, cooperation, and promotion. Public institution is encouraging the scientific researches in our area through cooperation with various universities. Visitor education and promotional activities are also important part of our work through celebrating various important nature protection dates, through cooperation with stakeholders, cooperation with national and international institutions, and every year we organize this international conference called Symposium Kopački Rit Past, Present, Future, which gathers the different researchers that are doing their work on in the Kopački Rit and other sectors where we can network and present our work. Other important aspect of the managing is to ensure the sustainable use and of the natural resources and to decrease the threats. So most important activities in the area are, of course, agriculture, forestry, water management, hunting, and aquaculture. And I would like to give you some overview of the projects we conducted in the past and currently, and some that are in preparations. So these are some early projects, maybe not relevant for this topic. Yeah, from the 2018 till 2022, Project Natura Vita was a large-scale project that was conducted on the area of Kopački Rit Nature Park. And one of the most important activities from this project was making the study on revitalization of floodplain of Kopački Rit. It is the document that gives dozens of specific restoration measures that can be conducted on the area of Kopački Rit. We are currently implementing two live projects. First one is Live Danube Free Sky, which deals with bird mortality on the power lines. Other one being Live Wild Island, which is dealing with conservation of the hybrid poplar plantations with native species like white willow and white poplar. Other project is the Watch Out, which is funded by the Tech for All program. The main focus of this project is bioacoustic monitoring on the area of Kopački Rit, and with help of the AI, these data are collected and assessed, and it gives really good monitoring data. Another project is restoring the Amazon of Europe in cooperation with WWF Adria. It is a program funded from Endangered Landscape and Seascape program, and the project activities include removing of dead wood on one natural channel inside of nature park, and recently the project has been expanded on other areas, which will deal with opening of dead sidearm on the Danube, and which will allow better water coverage in one part of the nature park. Currently, we are implementing also the project called With Less Invasive Species, that deals with eradication of invasive species like common milkweed and false indigo bush. And we are currently preparing some other projects. Two are applied to live program. These are also projects that are using the restoration measures I mentioned that were made during the Natura Vita project. And also we are currently preparing the biggest restoration project yet that will bring benefits to the more than 12,300 hectares in the floodplain of Kopački Rit. So I try to be as fast as possible. That's all, and thank you.
Thank you very much for this presentation. It was really interesting to hear about the activities of the nature park. And you can stop sharing your screen, I think. Perfect. And now I would give space for questions. If you have any questions for Mihai or Martin for the presentation, or if you want to comment or connect. You can also put your questions in the chat if they come up during the session and during the next presentations, and then we can address them at the end. So then I would say that we continue. Now we heard the first two expert presentations, and we have another two expert presentations coming up. We can hear presentations about the demo sites in DaWetRest and wetland restoration governance from Arden Asenov and Julia Nicholasson. And we would start with Arden Asenov.
Okay, I will share my screen. Thank you.
Hello. All right, then you can share your screen and start the presentation.
Okay, thank you. I will present about Danube demo, wetland restoration governance. First point is data collection directly from the Kalimok brushland protected area. You can see here on the picture, Kalimok brushland protected area is around 6,000 hectares. And the next places as Malak Preslavets marshes, managed reserve Sebarna and Garvansky marshes. This area is around 100 kilometers. Water management what include water level and temperature and channels at Luk and Kalimok brushland, water level in the marsh Malak Preslavets here, video data from logs and marsh, and log operational data on Kalimok brushland. Air quality and meteorological monitoring include also water flow and monitoring, water analysis, soil analysis, and plant vegetation survey. And these areas do monitoring only for Kalimok brushland, geodesic survey with GPS, and with one drone. What is one intelligent freshwater monitoring and management system, FMMS. It is experimental prototype of a complex of software tools for collecting data and video from mobile and stationary measuring equipment and objects, including in the real time, through which data will be obtained directly or indirectly for the status of monitored objects in certain areas. I want to say that all information from all sensors will be collected from this system. Real data obtained data from the mobile laboratory with water drone for conductivity, dissolved oxygen, ORP, pH, salinity, turbidity, temperature, resistivity, nitrate, and water speed. Obtained information on the quality of the water and the living condition of its inhabitants, data collection from the dig monitoring system, from groundwater level and temperature video data, and data collection from sensor of the logs automated management system. Here on the picture, you can see work of our colleague from Scortel. And this slide is mobile measurement laboratory. Here, this water drone have two group sensors with black color sensor that measured water parameters, and this side with this white color are air parameters. The mobile laboratory is a flexible, innovative solution designed to carry out complex water quality measurements at various points of freshwater and brackish water basins, and combination with visual observation from the adjacent shore and accompanying data on the state of the atmosphere and the measurement areas. The measurement results are transmitted in real time to a monitoring center for subsequent processing, assessment of the dynamic of process and the monitored water basin, and for solving water applies task. Here, our colleague from Scortil have remote control of this mobile laboratory and Malak Preslavet marshes. Here you can see other picture from this first measurement and this area. But it's planned to have measurement on Kalimok brushland, Srebrna Lake, Atanasovsko Lake, and Ropotamo River. Now on Kalimok brushland protected area, the water level is very low. Next innovation solution, the FMS is an innovative solution for operational monitoring of the state of the protected area, integrating the following technological capabilities: permanent remote monitoring of key objects and the area, using autonomous adaptive hybrid power supply from compact renewable source, solar and wind. Integrated monitoring using hybrid mobile and satellite connection on remote and hard-to-reach points, horizontal technology for such application. Monitoring of stationary and mobile objects using GPS positioning and video surveillance. Connection and processing of primary information from multiple modern specialized sensors. Here is a cloud platform of this FMMS system and company Scortel. Next slide, some intervention action on the place on Kalimok brushland. Video surveillance on the lock getaway by camera. Here have 3 locks. Videoed aerial drone here on the picture on left side, right side. And 3 drone will also be used to create a 3D model of individual areas of the Kalimok brushland, including the 3 canals, 3 locks, and 3 bridges. Automated operations of locks is implemented of a basis of a designed and built innovative automated system for managing the 3 locks of the Danube River Dam. The name is Local Automated Management System, LAMS, and the section of the Kalimok brushland including automation and remote control of the drive of the mechanical system for opening and closing the sluice gates of the locks and the wetland area of the Kalimok brushland and integration with the wetland monitoring system of the Scortel. Raw data, obtaining data on the status of the locks open and closed and water level data from cameras and sensors here on the pictures, and processing data with conditions of the locks and canals for each individually working emergency and volume of water passes on one of and the other direction here with wind central and here 2 picture with solar panels. Here is electrical motors who open and close the gates. Some picture from work and situation of this picture. First situation when the gates are open and the level of the Danube River is high. Next situation, gates are closed and Danube River level is low. And third situation when Danube River level is high and gates are closed. Here are a situation of 3 locks and Kalimok brushland protected area. Next task is pontoon generator. It produces energy from water and Danube River. Will be used 2 generators with 50 kilowatts power. It will be secured with 2 anchors on the Danube River and with a rope to the shore if necessary. Raw data will be collected also on this system FMS. General view of a pontoon energy generator and hybrid renewable resource here on the pictures. Pontoon will have solar panel from additional energy. And here is the turbine with generator. We choose 2 places. One place is next to the town Silistra, Fortest, and other places and Kalimok brushland in the next picture. Also have 1 air quality meteorological monitoring system. Innovation solution also air quality and meteorological monitoring for the area. We'll have area temperature, humidity, atmospheric pressure, wind speed and direction and other. Also monitoring of carbon dioxide and other chemical compounds like SO2 and area of Kalimok brushland. Here you can see that pylon will be this system. All collected data can be used as a basis for creating a digital twin of the protected area and the future project. This is all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for the presentation. It's really interesting to see what restoration measures are taken at the lower Danube level in Bulgaria and how you're progressing. Does anybody have a question for Arden?
Thank you. It was very useful. And I have one question. Can we have these presentations, Marta?
We want the presentations after the unity of practice session. Okay. Yes, I will look into that if that's possible to send out the presentations.
Thank you, especially this one. But thank you.
All right. Thank you for that comment. Any more questions? I think then we can continue with our last presentation from Julia Nicholson from the Danube Delta National Institute for Research and Development. And you will present about the Danube Delta demo in Romania.
Thank you very much. Can I share my screen?
Yes, of course, you can share your screen.
It's okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
Julian, it will be better if it is in presentation mode.
Yes, I tried, but I F5 maybe. Okay, yeah. I don't know from where is this sound.
We hear you fine, Julian.
I don't know. I don't know where is this sound is not my.
I cannot hear any sound, so I can only hear you, so you're fine.
Okay.
It could be coming from Dragos being at the same time in the system, but I'm not sure.
I don't know what happened. Yeah, it's.
I mean, Dragos is always to blame. So.
It's not my sound.
Yeah, the extra
Okay, I
sound
will
there.
stop my sharing,
Okay.
but the sound is still there.
We cannot hear any sound. Can you listen?
Okay.
Lucy?
No,
We
I
can't.
don't hear any sound, any additional sound. So it should be fine if you
Sunet.
play your
E tot
presentation.
ok.
Da, se aude un sunet.
Nu e nimic, da, sigur.
Am închis tot ce era posibil.
Aduți o reclamă ce nu.
Da. Ok.
Nu era ceva de deschis.
Este, dar n-are treabă. Am închis. Ce naiba să mă închid?
Ok, lăsați-l, nu puteți să vorbiți pustie.
Ba da, pot să vorbesc, dar nu e normal. Okay, I will try to continue. So, I don't know. It's a sound here, but I will try to to talk without. Okay. Okay. In fact, my presentation try to reach the subject of governance and policy. To make the restoration feasible for the wetlands. In fact, I come with two parts of the presentation is regarding demo sites from DaWetRest project, and also the strategic framework what we adopt to shift from the DaWetRest project under Danube Lighthouse to the EcoDali CSA project. In this sense, we create a strategic framework to engage, enhance, and expand. What is context? In fact, in the Danube catchment, we have some critical issues: biodiversity loss and degradation of aquatic ecosystems, impact of climate change. We feel last 10 years very powerful droughts, and not at least we expect flash floods, in special in the Danube basin. We confront with anthropogenic pressures, with intensive agriculture and urbanization. We have habitat fragmentation and loss of connectivity. When I say connectivity, I'm not refer just for longitudinal continuity, lateral connectivity, vertical connectivity, also to the temporal connectivity, also to the temperature connectivity. What is need to integrated policy, and this is what we state from the beginning, integrate policies. We must to make a combination of technological innovation, also community engagement, and what is important for EcoDali, strategic planning. Our main location of demo in DaWetRest, there are three. It's Karaorman fish pond, is a coastal area which is disrupted from the water flow in from the Danube Delta to the Black Sea, and vice versa. And the last is a witness of evolution in Danube Delta, the complex of Sărături-Murighiol lakes. We have sibling sites on Prut tributary. We have also Roșu Puiu, Calafaciu Percen in Danube floodplain, Călăraș Lake, which is in other part of Srebarna, Bistreț, Belene Islands complex, Manta and Beleu in Moldavia. We have also possibility to reply the experience in some fish ponds like Stipoc, Murighiol, Dranov. Also the experience from the coastal area, we have opportunity to replicate in Buhazu Mare Channel, and also in Ukraine Karahaus Lake. There are two other more, Nuntaș Lake, which is very similar with the complex of Murighiol, Sărături-Murighiol, and Valence Lake in Hungary, in Croatia. What are the main actions, what we want to do in our demos? Improvement of hydrological conditions in salt marshes, also in wetlands, floodplain and coastal areas, and strategy of the improvement of additional and sibling locations. Regarding Sărături Murighiol, you can see on this Google Earth image. In fact, we confront with very low water level. In fact, lacul Sărăturii was declared from 1938 as a natural reserve for ornithological purpose, and nowadays you can't see too much water there, and the birds left the landscape. You can see images from 2 weeks ago how show the lakes. I expect now to have some little bit water, but not too much, because the water level inside the lake was 70 centimeters low. Is an aspect of Lake Buival, because it's interrupted the circulation between Roșu Puiu complex and Black Sea coast. We confront with low level. You can see on the left side the line on reed vegetation where was in spring, and now the level is under the Black Sea level. The canal in right side down picture, you can see it's no anymore connect to the Împuțita canal. This is the reason what we intend and we produce hydrological modeling for improving in this place. We now are in phase to promote for authorizations to build this. In Karaorman, in fact, we build a platform for a RAS system. RAS means recirculating aquaculture system. It's important in nowadays when it's disrupted the possibility to maintain the stock of fishes. Is very important to produce for ecotourism, to produce fishes, and in the future to produce fishes for nature. For this reason, we are looking very care to the genetic molecular aspects for the species that we intend to produce here. We work together with complex, with an SMA, Complex Delta, and the future will be a technological park for aquaculture in Karaorman. Target groups, we are together with ONGs, tourism agencies, SMEs, of course, people from food industry, local and regional authorities, local community, minorities. Danube Delta, as you know, has a lot of minorities, and also associations of fishermen. This is very important to have such partners in our approach, and not at least just full partners in the project, also associated partners like Romanian Waters, Danube Delta Biosphere Reserve Authority, Ivan Pațaichi Mila 23 Association, and also Tulcea County Prefect. It's a very complex frame that we have to work together, and this is a very good example for governance and policy. You can see we involve academic environment, also Polytechnica University, and SMEs like GeoStud and Complex Delta. Ministry of Environment is one of the beneficiary at the higher level, and is very important for the basin because the Danube, lower Danube has a lot of potential to be restored. I start in the beginning to say we have a strategic framework which frame engage, enhance, and expand. Engage because we work together with communities and decision makers from the local stakeholders. We enhance, we want to improve the status through technical intervention to make ecological restoration. Why I say expand? Because we scaling solutions and integration of regional policies in Danube catchment. I will pick just a few words regarding the status. We need in our approach, we need data for initial conditions, and here it's a very important role of communities to make a good assessment for our plans. Modeling, it's the next step, and afterwards scenarios. This create premises to make common living labs, as we done in EcoDali, where we establish the needs assessment for the entire policy. It's not the end. We must see also the interrelations with other planning projects. Key activities, in fact, based on public awareness campaign, participatory workshops, dialogue platform between decision makers, scientists, and communities. And the best example is in DaWetRest, the one task, which means assessing the state and needs of ecosystems. Technical intervention, as I said, hydrological restoration, and of course, lateral connectivity. We have also nature-based solutions, concept adopted for what we do. Ecological monitoring is very important, and we need more data than the monitoring at the national level. For this, we must to use advanced technologies like IoT, like drones and sensors, as you saw already. Here, the best example is task 4.2 in DaWetRest, requirement for wetlands restorations. Proposed policies and the impact of these, in fact, are focused on scientific to improve the ecological status, social, increasing awareness and community involvement, economically, opportunities for sustainable development. We speak about sustainable development from the 90s years, and now is a moment to implement that, not just theory sustainable development. Politically, we focus for strengthening the policy framework for ecological restoration. The recommendation from DaWetRest, there are 3 for different levels, authorities, to adopt this framework in their environmental policies for projects to integrate social and economic aspects into restoration projects, and not at least, not the last, for communities to have active participation in decision making for implementation processes. Many times we hear from fishermen, for example, the authorities do nothing, okay, but they where was to make ecological restoration. I not insist too much on key performance indicators that frame with this 3E framework. I stop here and I thank you very much, and please do not be ashamed to address us questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Yes, do you have any questions for Julian?
I have thank you, and good luck with engage, enhance, expand strategic framework. I like this. And I have a question. You showed us the place you are going to restore. First, you are study why it become. What is the reason for the degradation of the habitat? And you study also ecosystem services, which ecosystem services is very important for the restoration of wetland habitats. Or first you are studying reason for the degradation, and then ecosystem services, which is or how?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for these remarks and your observation. Yes, indeed, we start with ecological restoration projects in degraded ecosystems, and especially the services that are provided by these ecosystems are very deteriorated. And for example, these 3 ecosystems that we choose in the lake Sărături-Murighiol, it was a colony, I said, it was a colony of birds. There was around 3,000 of seagulls and other birds, Himantopus, there was a lot. But now, because it's no water there, it was compromised the ecosystem. In fact, what was looking in that, it was vertical connectivity, because the underground goes 3 meters depth, and we don't have any input from the underground in the lake, because it was going down and down, and the multiple causes for this. It was just an example how we choose pilot for ecological restoration.
And one more question. You mentioned in your presentation that you are going to introduce a species, which is plant species, which is not it was not former time was growing in this area, or it was
No.
Okay.
Our intention for this, we are very care for molecular genetics material to use from nature, to produce fishes for the environment.
Okay. Thank you. Good luck. I have
Thank you.
project Interreg, and in May I will visit your institute and this
Please.
delta and this
Okay.
place.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So,
Good luck.
I think there's another question from Paul.
Paul Goriup, yes, please. You are mute. You are mute.
Yeah. Morning,
Hi.
Julian, or probably afternoon by now. And thanks for your nice presentation. I was just curious what nature-based solutions you're implementing.
Yes, indeed. We are looking the mechanism, for example, for Sărături Murighiol, we are looking for the mechanism that happen in vertical connectivity for that, and we try to use ancestral methods that was adopted by people long time ago in India, for example, Johad, or in other countries to make installation, and these are based on nature adaptation. Also, we are looking for modeling to see the transfer between Delta and Black Sea, to see how it's possible to improve. In this period, when we confront with a very powerful drought and very large scarcity, we have to see how can adapt as nature do for these coastal lakes, which become very salty. And this is another context. The salinity, in fact, increase and decrease the biodiversity. It's a direct correlation between these two examples.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you for all the questions and also for all the presentations. Unfortunately, we have also already reached the end of our community of practice, and it's almost 12 o'clock. But I thank you all for participating and for informing us about all these developments and for your great presentation. And I hope to see you on the next Community of Practice webinar, which will take place on the 12th of December. And if you want to invite people to register, you can do that on the DaWetRest website. And then you will receive our invitations and our emails. And yes, I hope to see you there. And thank you very much and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.